Hello, people. Uh, it's Friday. I skipped work today. First time in 7 months that I've taken a day off of work. I finished a book here this morning. The Prize of All the Oceans, and the subtitle here is The Dramatic True Story of Commodore Anson's Voyage Round the World and How He Seized the Spanish Treasure Galleon. It's a story about six ships set out in 1740. And to me, it's amazing, how little the English, the Spanish, the Dutch, everybody knew about the world. The Spanish were probably a lot more familiar with the South Pacific than the English were. But these six ships, they go into the South Pacific. That was their plan anyway. And they were supposed to harass Spain and harass Spanish shipping and capture prizes. One of the ones that they capture is the Spanish galleon that's sailing from South America, just loaded with like $1 million in silver. And they do catch some other prizes too, and much like any other, like an auxiliary cruiser in the Second or First World War, they attempt to put crews on these ships and bring them along, but Anson's voyage is kind of plagued with one of them is shipwrecked. Two of them turn around. They don't even round the Horn. They turn around and go back to England. Uh, Scurvy. They get scurvy. They have two incidents of outbreaks of scurvy where just hundreds of people on the boat die. Hundreds. I'm going to get right to my notes here. It's 235 pages. This was published in the year 2000, and this is the first American edition. It's scattered throughout this thing is lots of old maps from that time, many of them inaccurate. Uh, this guy Anson was stationed in Charleston for a little while. 1734, he was stationed in Charleston. They sailed in 1740. Why they don't go through the Straits of Magellan, I don't know. Perhaps they were just unfamiliar with it. There wasn't good enough maps. But they don't do that. They decide to go around the Horn, and they do it at the wrong time of the year. And it literally takes them months to get around the Horn. They're already experiencing scurvy when they're trying to go around the Horn. Not only is there, many people sick, but even the ones that aren't sick, they aren't even able to run the ship properly. And we're going to get into the scurvy a little bit more. Page 41, but I don't mark what paragraph I'm supposed to read. So you know what? I'm going to skip it. I do have written here in 1790, lemons become regular issue. It really wasn't until around 1800 that they really hammer on the lemons, It's weird. It's like they figured it out like 5 separate times. And then they would not have a long-term voyage for a little while, and they would forget all about the fucking lemons and the oranges. Some other idiot would come around and say that it was the air on when you were at sea. This galleon, they call it the Acapulco galleon because it sails from Acapulco. I don't know what the hell the Spanish were doing, if they were just trying to go around the other way so that they could avoid the Horn. But anyways, it sails across the South Pacific, and they do capture it. When they sight it, the galleon decides to just sail right on and fight the British ship. And it's the Centurion that it fights, and it's a pretty unequal battle. And they capture it. They have to haul it to China. They try to get rid of their prisoners in China. There's a bunch of shit happens in China. The Chinese Anson does not get along with the Chinese. Chinese did not show him the proper respect. And that's kind of the boring part of the book. There's some really cool stuff here where they have to stop on these islands and drag everybody off the ships and feed them fresh food and instantly when you get some fresh vegetables or fresh fruit, you recover from scurvy. I got interested in it, so I started looking, doing a little bit of research, and one of the odd things that I discovered was many, many mammals, including cats and dogs, do not have to eat vitamin C to get it. They can synthesize it in their liver. And apparently we have the remains of DNA that at one time allowed us to do that. And we lost it like a long time ago, like 200 million years ago. We were not recognizable humans at all. We were, still some type of an ape. I'm jealous. The fucking cat just eats dry food his whole life. He never gets scurvy. His teeth ain't falling out. There's a map on the back, the back 2 pages. And it's just pretty cool because the inset there says a chart showing, and showing is spelled Shewing, the track of the centurion around the world. And just the inaccuracies on this map. It completely stops like up by California and Oregon and Alaska. There's nothing drawn there. They don't know anything about it. They show Baja California separated from the continent. Australia is another spot on the map that's just blank. They have one coast of Australia, but the rest of it is just blank. And then there's a guy named James Lind, and I'm not going to read this either. It was page 225, but in 1753, he's a doctor. He actually he's on board a ship, and the crew is suffering from scurvy, and he actually takes them, separates them into groups, and feeds them different items, and sees whether they recover or not, and he writes a fucking book. And the ones that he gives lemon juice and orange to, they recover instantly. 1753. But they don't adopt any of this until like the turn of the century. I don't know. It's just weird that it takes them that long. How many fucking people had to die? They were giving them sauerkraut and all kinds of stuff. One of the weird things that I found out was potatoes actually have vitamin C, so even those of us that don't eat so well, I eat an orange every day. Even those of us that are eating maybe McDonald's fries, they're actually maybe getting some vitamin C from that shit. Anyways, this was a wonderful book, especially when I first started it. I read it very quickly. I had to fucking go back into work last night. That's why I didn't go in today, because it fucked my sleep all up. I work on a COVID cleaning crew, and they had a fucking COVID case there last night. I was the only one that would go in. So I was in there fucking spraying shit down last night, and it fucked my sleep all up. And I still feel like shit, so hopefully I sleep well tonight. Thanks for watching.